Well, I finally got my test back, and it was a perfect 0. Yeah, it's the only test I ever want to get a 0 on. It's called a circulating tumor cell count. So I get these done every 6 months. I'm a 4-year, as of this month, cancer thriver, breast cancer thriver. And who knew they had a cool test? Instead of doing a PET scan, we can do this thing called a circulating tumor cell count. So they take my tumor cells from the hospital. Who knew they saved that stuff? And my current blood work, and then some mad scientist somewhere spins it up to say if you have any tumor cells in your blood. And so anyway, this is my 7th one, lucky 7, and it came back yesterday, and it was a 0. And so when I got to my networking meeting yesterday, and Bob said, "What's one thing that makes you happy today?" That was our question of the day. I said, "Oh, makes me happy. I got a 0 on my test." So for any of you that are out there that maybe you're a cancer thriver, or maybe you have a loved one that's cancer thriver, I get you. I see you. When we have those labs or those scans, waiting for those to come back, yeah, it makes you crazy. I don't sleep as well. Any little scratchy throat, bump, lump, anything, you start thinking, what if? And it doesn't matter if you're 6 months out, 4 years out, it's always kind of in the back of your mind. But once you have those labs done, waiting for the results to come back can make you crazy. So my message to all the people that have loved ones going through this, give them some grace. And for my message to all my networking friends, when I get a little weepy, well, I'll get weepy at a Budweiser commercial at Christmas time. But if I'm a little more emotional and I tell you I'm waiting for my labs, it's because my nerves are kind of on edge. So my message to everybody is give everybody some grace, but especially if they are cancer thrivers. So Bob's other cool thing he did yesterday, he had a great friend of mine as a speaker. Her name is Jen Gray. You might know her as Be Genuine, Be Authentic. She speaks all over. She's a fantastic role model for so many of us. But anyway, her message yesterday was to use your message to help other people. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have a PhD in something. And so I've been very open and honest with my journey from diagnosis. Well, I will say in the very beginning, I didn't say anything because I was actually embarrassed and mad. I've been in health and wellness 25 years. How did I get it too? Well, you know what? None of us are immune. 1 in 8 women will get it in their lifetime. 1 in 3 women will get some type of cancer. 1 in 2 men will. So first of all, don't be afraid of the big C. Just because you get the diagnosis, that doesn't mean it's a death sentence. Talk to people about your options for treatment, and don't give up. Don't think, well, heck, I got it. May as well just go ahead and have a good old time. No, that's when you double down. You get to the program that you want. Now, I do Chris Work. I follow Chris Work. He wrote Crispy Cancer. He advocates for a whole food plant-based diet with juicing. That's worked well for me for 4 years. Now, I do have those days when I enjoy. Most of my friends know, not my doctor. Dr. Bergeron doesn't know I do this. But if it's a holiday, my birthday, or if I'm on vacation, I may have a bite of 2 of that dessert. If I'm in Maine, I'm going to have lobster. If I'm going to have in Alaska, I'm going to have salmon. So I'm not saying I'll never eat meat again, or I'll never eat, gluten, or I'll never eat sweets. But I'm with the 95-5 rule. Most people can do 80-20, be good 80% of the time, enjoy yourself 20. No, I have to be really good 95% of the time and enjoy myself 5% of the time. And as I get further out, like I said, I'm 4 years now. They say at 5 years you can kind of breathe, a little sigh of relief. I probably never will. Unfortunately, I was not early stage. Like I said, what I had, invasive lobular carcinoma, had. My Dr. Bergeron told me today I'm in ED. They can't detect it, and it's a 0. So I'm rocking along. He said, I told him my goal was to be like Betty White, line dance until I'm 99. He said, no, I want you to be like me. We're going to make it to 106. And I said, well, as long as I got my brain, I'll be fine to go on to 106. But I don't want people feeding me applesauce if I'm 106. So anyway, back to Jen. So she said, be authentic, but share your story. So my message to everybody is, you know what? First of all, prevention. I've been preaching prevention since I've been in health and wellness 25 years. Filter your water. filter your air as much as you can. Now I'm outside right now, but when you're in your house, in your car, get a good filtration system. Yeah, I sell some, but that's beside the point. Also, select good healthy foods. Eat as organic as possible. Stay away from fast food. Stay away from, artificial sweeteners. Stay away from sodas. Stay away from excess alcohol. Now, I'm not telling you not to drink a glass of wine or have a beer or whatever on occasion, but if you're feeling like you can't get through the night without a bottle of wine, yeah, you need to talk to somebody, because alcohol turns to sugar. Sugar turns to a lot of things. I mean, diabetes, cancer. So sugar is not your friend. Another thing is smoking. The doctor told, I don't know which one, I'd like to go choke him, told my baby sister that smoking had nothing to do with her cancer. Well, hello, it's on the side of the package. Smoking cigarettes can cause cancer. So yeah, it wasn't lung cancer, but still, it was breast cancer. So that being said, if y'all are smoking, please quit. If not for my sake, for yours. The next one is negative things like people, TV shows, the news, people on social media, politics. Don't get so caught up in stuff that you fixate on it. There's a saying, what you focus on expands. Focus on joy and positivities. And those adorable grandbabies I have keep me pretty happy. But find things that make you happy, that bring you joy. And if you figure out this is something or somebody that doesn't bring you joy, as much as it sometimes hurts, especially when they're family, you need to change the subject or remove yourself from the situation. So, so those are some of the things, the unhealthy food, the drinks, the air, the water, sleep. You need to get a good 7 hours sleep a night. Now, some people, older people or younger kids, you need more than that. But the average adult, 7 hours sleep. If you're not sleeping well, I got lots of tips for you and some supplements too that will help you. One poor night's sleep will compromise your immune system 40% or more. So, don't stay up watching TV till 2 or 3 in the morning or working on a project. Now, if it's for work and it happens every once in a while, that's one thing, but don't make it a daily habit. It's what we do daily that compounds and causes problems. It's not what you do every once in a while. If you go on vacation and you stay up too late and you drink a little and you have that cheesecake or whatever, that's not going to do you in. It's what you do daily. So my message to you is think about prevention. And when you do feel something that's off, wherever it is, go to the doctor. Don't be afraid. You know what? My sister and my friend Marianne, my sister Simone and Marianne, they both felt something and didn't go to the doctor right away. I felt it was soft and squishy. I went to the doctor. They said, mammogram, you just have dense breasts. I heard that for years. But mine was never a hard lump. So it's not like I was ignoring it. I went for thermographic imaging for years, nothing detected. Invasive lobular carcinoma, which is what I had, is very slow growing. So what mammograms pick up is hard lumps. What thermographic imaging picks up is rapidly dividing cells, create heat, and it senses that heat variation. Because I didn't have either one, I literally went like 18 years without having any idea that anything was going on. Now, in 2021, thermographic imaging said on a scale of 1 to 5, I was a 3, seek a mammogram. I went for the mammogram. They said, dense breast, you're fine. Next year, I went back and a different radiologist said, I see those pictures you brought in. I see the scans. I don't know what that is. But for peace of mind, why don't you get a biopsy? And I'm like, he said, it's soft, it's squishy, it's not a hard lump. And I'm like, oh, I make lipomas. I had one the size of a softball taken off my back, which was literally same side, like 10 inches behind it. It's got to be a lipoma. He said, could be. I don't know what it is. So I went to the breast surgeon and I said, you know what? I'm 99% sure this is a lipoma because I make lipomas. And he said, could be. I don't know what it is, but let's do a biopsy. 4 days later, he called me and he said, I wish you'd said 100% because it's not. It's 9.5 centimeters big. We then looked back to the mammogram 2021, the year before. At the very, very bottom, said what I had pointed out to them, something had been in that spot since 2004, probably benign. Oh my gosh, probably benign is not benign. Well, the good thing is it was very slow growing. So, because otherwise it would have killed me. You know, Marianne and Simone only lasted 4 years. So I'm officially 4 years clear today and have zero signs of it. So I feel like I am on the right side of things. So my message is be aware of your body. Go to the doctor. Don't be afraid of the doctor. Don't be afraid of the diagnosis. But just because you get the diagnosis of the big C, don't take the first opinion that the doctor says. Interview different doctors. Look at different types of treatments, different things to keep it from coming back. I mean, of course, I merged traditional medicine, you know, radiation and mastectomy. That's pretty traditional, but I am using all natural things to make sure it doesn't come back. You know, they said statistically with my type, because it's very slow growing, when they said, oh, you need chemo, because it was in, you know, lymph nodes. I'd had it 19 years. Yeah, it's in your lymph nodes. I said, what difference will it make if I do chemo or not? And they said 5%. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm not ruining my immune system for a 5% difference. I said, okay, tell me about radiation. And they said, 50-50. If you don't do radiation, in 5 years, there's a 50-50 chance. And I'm like, oh, I don't like those odds. So I did. I opted to do 30 rounds of radiation, and I was doing lots of supplements and lots of different things. And so I will say that I had, as far as I know, knock on some wood, I did not have any ill effects of the radiation when I had my mastectomy. I think the worst part was the drains. I really did not have discomfort like some people have. I used some CBD and Tylenol and was able to get through it. I had full range of motion, so I consider myself very blessed and grateful. So that's another message to you, is that even if you're diagnosed, think of something to be grateful for every day. Because if you're not grateful, things can get out of hand really in a hurry. So some things I want you to look at adding, because, you know, I talked about things to take away. Some things that I want you to look at adding. And let me see my notes here. I did make notes because I was like, oh, I want to make sure. The first thing is the gratitude journal. So I want everybody to write down one thing that they're grateful for every day. You know, you can use a pretty journal. I was writing in this for a long time, faith over fear. Because, you know, if you have faith, there should be no fear. Well, yeah, that's hard to do. Sometimes when they're waiting for those labs, it makes your, you know, brain kind of go crazy. But anyway, so you know, make sure to be grateful. And make sure to surround yourself with positive, healthy happy people. And make sure to talk about your journey. Don't keep it bottled in, because sometimes keeping things inside just it manifests. It makes it worse. And so focus on ways that you're going to get through this. Have a goal. You know, you're going to kick this and say affirmations. You know, I'm so happy and grateful. I'm healthy in every way. That's mine. You can say whatever you want to. But so those are just some of my tips. Avoid the negativity. Keep those bad things out of your body and align yourself with positive, happy, healthy people. And get doctors that you know, like, and respect. And just know that, you know, we're in this together, you know, and be patient with people. Even if they're not getting their scans done, you know, we need to give everybody some more grace. So if you're interested, I have a whole protocol of the different things that I take, what I do. You know, I do yoga. I wish I could say I do meditation. I do a lot of prayer, but I'm not great with being still. So I know some people are great with meditation. But yeah, I love yoga. I love line dancing. I love walking with friends. Do things to get you out, you know, get the body moving, get the exercise in, get those happy endorphins, you know, get out and get some sunshine, which that's been hard lately. But, you know, those are the things. Vitamin D is very important, you know, what you get through your skin plus supplements. You know that 90% of all women are deficient with vitamin D, and 100% of women diagnosed with breast cancer are deficient with vitamin D. So yeah, get your vitamin D, your vitamin C, your zinc. You know, there's I mean, I have a whole list. But yeah, supplement, because nobody's eating the right stuff. And also, you know, really look at the quality of food that you're putting in your body. So again, if you have any questions, I'm happy to have a conversation. Really the first thing you or your loved one needs to do is make a decision that you want to live, and you're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that happens. Because if you Google it, you read into the diagnosis and the prognosis and all the other stuff, then you're setting yourself up on a slippery slope to not be successful. So just plan ahead. You're going to beat this, and you're going to be smiling all the way through it. Love you.